And hello and welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, it's so great to have you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Why, the pleasure of having someone come back, which I think that you'll really enjoy getting to hear from again. Her name is Rabbi Donna Berman. She's the Executive Director of the Charter Oak Cultural Center. And Rabbi Donna Berman, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you again.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Deborah. Thank you.
Well, what you may or may not recall is what I like to do in the beginning of the show is introduce the guest to the viewer. So why don't you take us back into your background? Let us get to know you.
Okay. I was born in New York. I lived in New York until I was in my 40s. Then I came to Connecticut. So I've only been here 3 years. I'm kidding. And I'm a rabbi. I was ordained in 1982. I had my own congregation in Port Washington, New York. And after I left my congregation, I went back to school and I got another degree. And then I came to move to Connecticut and started working at the Charter Oak Cultural Center. We're a multicultural art center doing the work of social justice through the arts. And so social justice has been a focus of my life since I was probably a little kid, actually.
Take us back into your background, though. When did you decide that you wanted to pursue being a rabbi?
I was 9 years old, and I decided I wanted to be a rabbi. I grew up in a place in Queens, New York, that was a difficult place to grow up, and I found sanctuary in the synagogue. And the focus of Hebrew school and all of my religious education was really social justice and working to create a better world. In Judaism, we call it tikkun olam, repairing the world. And I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a rabbi to do that work.
When you were growing up and decided to do that and went on for education, did you know that you wanted to have your own congregation?
Yeah, in those days, if you were a rabbi, you had your own congregation. As the years progressed, there was a more expansive view of what you could do as a rabbi. You could work at a Hillel in a college. You could be kind of more of a social worker kind of person with a rabbinical degree. But in those days, it was a very long time ago. I mean, I went to rabbinic school with Moses. It was pretty much focused on having a congregation.
And then from there, how did you find your way into Connecticut? You were in New York.
Yeah, I came to Connecticut because of a partner that I had at the time. And so we relocated to Connecticut. My mom had just died a few years before. I really was supposed to come to Connecticut earlier than I did, but once my mom died, all my support system was in New York, so I stayed there for a while longer. But Connecticut's in my home for, 27 years or something.
And when you left the congregation, how did you find the Charter Oak Cultural Center? It's in Hartford, is that correct?
It is in Hartford, yeah. And it's kind of it's a crazy story. I came to Connecticut. I was finishing up my PhD, and I knew that I wanted to start looking for work. And I met somebody at the jazz concert in Bushnell Park, and she just started talking to me about this place called the Charter Oak Cultural Center. I was looking at all kinds of places to work. And I had gone to Yale Divinity School for a while, and I was through Yale Divinity School. There were some opportunities that were arising, but this woman said to me, "There's I work at a place called the Charter Oak Cultural Center, and they're looking for an office manager." And I said, "Well, it's great to be an office manager. That's not the kind of position I'm looking for," and but she wrote, I said, why don't you write down the name of the place just to kind of, appease her, really. So I wrote it down and I put it in my shorts that I was wearing that summer night in Bushnell Park. And all the jobs that I was applying for, it was August, and they weren't going to get back to me till September. And there was some urgency for a variety of reasons for me to get a job a little sooner than that. And so I went through the laundry, found that pair of shorts, pulled out that piece of paper, and this is how long ago it was. It was 2001, and August of 2001, and I looked up the phone number for the Charter Oak Cultural Center in the yellow pages. That kind of dates the whole thing. And I called there, and I had this lovely conversation with a man who was the acting director at the time. And he said, "Why don't you come in and we'll have lunch tomorrow?" And he said, and when we had lunch, he said, "How would you like to work here?" And I said, "Well, I'm not looking for an office manager job." And he said, "No, as the executive director, but we'll make you the interim because nobody knows you. And we'll make you the interim. And then if it works out by Thanksgiving, we'll name you as the director." So make a long story short, but it's probably too late for that. I had all these interviews. I had 7 interviews. And the last interview, because they wanted to be really careful about who they chose for this job. And the last interview was on a Friday, and they said they'd let me know. And I went home, and the phone rang about 5 o'clock, and they said, "Okay, we want to offer you the job." And I heard my dad's voice saying, "Never accept a date too close to Saturday, and never accept the job on the first time they call you. You have to tell them you have to think about it." But of course, I really wanted this job, and even though I should say, at that time, Charter Oak Cultural Center was doing nothing. There was no programming. There was nothing going on there. So really, I don't know why I was so attracted to the job, but I was. And I said, just before I said, "I'll take it," my dad's voice came in my head, and I said, "Give me till Tuesday." I don't know why I didn't say Monday. I said, "Give me till Tuesday, and I'll let you know." I'm gonna play a little hard to get, So that Tuesday was 9/11. And so I called Charter Oak, and I left a message on their answering machine. And I said, "I don't want today to go down in history as the day I accepted this job." And that was almost 24 years ago.
So you found Charter Oak Cultural Center and you decided to take the job to be with them. How was it for you to take it on at such a big level as executive director after having come from a congregation? What was the transition like?
Such a good question. I love it. Well, we were very artistically focused in my congregation. I play the guitar. We had a lot of really nice music in our service. I didn't have a cantor. I had a cantor just for High Holy Days and special and bar and bat mitzvahs. But on Shabbat, on Friday night, I played the guitar and provided the music. And I'm a writer, so I've always really loved the arts. And we incorporated the arts into our worship, and we were pretty creative. So I had some sense of what the arts could do to enlarge and expand a life. And it was an easy transition in another way because nothing was going on. It was me and one other person who was a volunteer, and there was no programming. So in a way, people are very kind and they say, "Oh, you did so much for Charter Oak." But there was no matter what I did, I was going to be a winner because nothing was going on. So it's a good kind of job to have, because anything you do is better than what you had. So, and then we just built it, and we just, we started a newsletter. Like, for example, we started a newsletter. Nothing was going on, but we started a newsletter saying, "Well, things are gonna go on. And if you're an artist, we have a gallery." And next thing you know, all these artists were applying to be in our gallery, and we would change our exhibit every month, which is pretty frequent for a gallery, but just to keep the traffic going, the foot traffic going, to get people in. And we just built it literally brick by brick.
People will say, "I have never heard of it." Can you take some time and tell us what is the Charter Oak Cultural Center to begin with anyway? Is it a building? What does it represent?
Well, we're housed in the oldest synagogue building in Connecticut. It's in the southern part of Hartford, and it's this gorgeous building. The building is a work of art in itself. It is shaped like an open Torah, which is the scroll that contains the first 5 books of the Bible. and that's very sacred to Jews. And it's shaped like an open Torah, like an open scroll. It's got turrets, and there are 5 windows on top, each representing one of the 5 books of Moses. The doors are shaped like this, like the tablets of the 10 Commandments. I mean, it's really magnificent. If you can come to Hartford and see it, that's great. And otherwise, you can look it up on the internet. It's really magnificent. And we're a multicultural arts center doing the work of social justice through the arts. So to that end, we have a school for over 1,000 students, Hartford students, who would not have exposure to the arts, certainly in school and probably not at home, were it not for Charter Oak. So this school is completely free, the instruction is free, the materials are free, the instruments are free, everything is free. We're about we bought the building next door a few years ago, and we're renovating it, and we're about to be able to enroll another 250 kids, making our total enrollment 1,250 students. That's coming very soon. And we also have all kinds of multicultural performances celebrating the various cultures that make our country so rich and so diverse and so beautiful. And we never turn anybody away who can't afford a ticket. And we do as much as we can for free. But when we do charge, we never turn anybody away who can't afford a ticket, because we believe that the arts are a human right, not a luxury. And we have 3 programs for people in the unsheltered community. We started Connecticut's first, what's called a street paper, which is a newspaper written by people in the homeless community. And it's called Beat of the Street. And all of our programming for people in the unsheltered community is called BOTS, which is Beat of the Street, BOTS. So we have Beat of the Street newspaper. We have a program called Eats of the Street, through which we put pots of organic vegetable plants on the streets of Hartford. And we hire people in the homeless community to take care of the plants. We train them to do that. And then anybody in need can pick the vegetables when they're ripe. And that's called Eats of the Street. And we call those BOTS pots. And then we have the BOTS Center for Creative Learning, which is a school for people in the homeless community. And when people graduate from the school, and it's 96 classroom hours, so it's a lot, especially for someone without the stability of a home. They graduate, and we give them a laptop as a graduation present, and they're eligible to go on to Goodwin University.
Okay, Donna, let's hold that thought and take a break. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You're tuned in to Arts and Entertainment. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
The holiday season is here, and so are scammers. Ready to trick unsuspecting shoppers with fake ads and too good to be true offers. Scammers are offering fake and deceptive beauty products, targeting viral trends, and pretending to sell gifts for loved ones. So look out for red flags like huge discounts, unfamiliar retailers, and requests for payment through payment apps. Better Business Bureau can help you protect yourself from online scams this holiday season. Learn more at bbb.org/scam studies.
Come on in, come on in.
Welcome to Sure Things.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mazzetti Show.
Hello and welcome to Arts and Entertainment. Hello and welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, I hope you're enjoying the show. My conversation continues on with Rabbi Donna Berman. And Donna, let's not forget the website. What will the viewer find when they visit charteroakcenter.org?
Oh, lots of fun stuff. Our calendar of events, videos of lectures that we've had and performances that we've had, some essays that I've written, all kinds of nice stuff. And if you sign up for our newsletter, we have an e-blast that goes out a couple of times a week, and there's all kinds of interesting stuff, not just our calendar, but for example, we have one feature, it's called Kitchen Dancing. So it's something you can listen to in the kitchen and dance to. So we have lots of kind of cool features. So, do sign up. We'd love to have you be part of the Charter Oak family.
Okay, as executive director, why don't you tell us what your job responsibilities are? What's your day like?
What's my day like? Well, it's varied. I do a lot of different things. Um, I'm involved with, well, certainly fundraising. And it's not just fundraising for the organization, it's also fundraising for our capital campaign. Because we're renovating, our original building was built in 1876, the synagogue, and it hasn't been renovated in over 50 years. So you can imagine it really is very much in need of repair and renovation. And for example, the center columns in the sanctuary are actually falling in on themselves. So, that's a big job to fix that. And then we bought the building next door, as I mentioned, so we're renovating that. So I do a lot of fundraising. I'm involved in all the programming, choosing what kind of programs we do. I would have probably gone into PR had I not gone into this or been a rabbi. So I'm very involved in all of and the e-blast and the design of things and our invitations and flyers. So I like that very much. And I do some public speaking and answering emails from the public and try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in terms of social justice and ways that I can contribute as the leader of Charter Oak. So it's nice, it's varied. I never am bored.
I don't think you would be either. It sounds as if you've got a very busy schedule there.
Yes, very much so.
What's the future look like for the center itself? We've got viewers from all over the state, let alone through the internet, all over the world. What's the future look like for the center? We're in 2025. Do you have plans as we move into 2025, into 2026?
Yes, please God, we will be completing our renovation and it's going to be just so beautiful. The sanctuary has stained glass in it and high beams and a beautiful high ceiling and stenciling on the ceiling. And it's really a gorgeous building, but it'll be way more gorgeous once the renovation is done. And then we have this other building, and then we're going to create a campus and put all kinds of landscaping in. There'll be a sculpture park, and on one side of the building, there'll be an outdoor classroom. So, and beautiful gardens. So it's going to be just as lovely as the building is now. It's going to be even more beautiful. And, we'll continue programming. Our school is not in the building right now because of the renovation. So we're renting space from Good Shepherd Church down the street. They've been lovely to us. We're very grateful to them. So the school has continued to go on. And by the way, our school is called City School of the Arts. So we haven't missed a beat. Whenever we have a performance, we rent space elsewhere. And Congregation Beth Israel, for example, has been very, very hospitable to us. But we have, we have just really, I think, exciting programming. We do, all the performances are live now, but we do lectures online, and we find that the attendance is better for that kind of an event. So, if you go to our website, you'll see what's coming up. But the most important thing that's coming up is our gala on May 5th, and that is the biggest source of our operating money. Operating money is the money that keeps the lights on and the heat on, and it's very, very important, and it's very hard to raise that money because people like to give money, which is lovely, for things, for school, for food, that's great, we need that too, but we also need money that's called unrestricted, which means that we can use it to keep the place going. And it's essential money. So the gala is our biggest fundraiser for that kind of funding. And if you'd like to come to the gala, we'd love to have you. If you'd rather just give us a donation towards the gala, we'd love that. We'd be very grateful for any support. This is a tough year for nonprofits, and any help that anybody could offer, really even $1, $5, doesn't matter. It all helps. Every dollar helps. Every dollar counts.
Tell us about the school. What is it that you offer there?
Oh my goodness. We offer soup to nuts. It's ballet and hip hop and painting and drawing and creative writing and cooking. And I mean, it's just a full, and all kinds of instruments. Guitar lessons, piano lessons, drumming, brass band, We started Connecticut's first all-city brass band. All kinds of really great creative stuff. And one of the interesting things I think about our school is that in addition to all this array of classes that we offer, I think we offer 35 classes a week. Not only at Charter Oak, but at different locations through the city, because transportation is such an issue in the city. So we go to schools and provide classes there too, in addition to Charter Oak. So, but one of the interesting things about the school is that about 3 years ago, in the wake of the pandemic, we decided to become what's called ACEs informed trauma and trauma informed. And ACEs aware and trauma informed. So we have all kinds of mindfulness exercises that we do with the kids in each class as part of the learning experience. And we have all kinds of trainings about the neuroscience of trauma and how to integrate trauma so that we don't have to act it out. We can actually integrate it and heal it. So we've spent a lot of time and energy and focus on that because for all of us have probably experienced some degree of trauma. And so we provide these trainings not only for our students and their parents and the staff and the faculty, everybody, because we're all vulnerable to the impact of trauma.
The program is seen through different cable channels throughout the state. What about the young people or people of any age that might want to come and participate in the programs that you have there? Are you open to the public throughout the area?
Well, for our performances, anybody can come, and people come from all over the state and from other states too, because it's kind of unique programming again, because as far as I know, we're the only institution that's committed to multicultural arts. So we have a wide array of people who come to Charter Oak, and people come just to visit the building and see it because it's such an historic building. But in terms of our City School of the Arts, there's a financial bar over which people would not be admitted unless there's enough room, but usually we have a waiting list of 250 kids. So our goal is to give people who don't have the financial resources the opportunity to have their kids in a school that teaches them about the arts. So, so basically that's mostly like 90%, 95% Hartford kids. But for everything else, everybody's welcome, and we'd love to have people there. And again, somebody once said to me, Charter Oak is the most humane place I've been. And if you come to Charter Oak, you will feel, I hope, and if you don't, I want you to let me know, warmth and love and kind of the way the world should be and could be. And it's like a little bit of a world apart. It's just people coming together in love and understanding and wanting to learn about each other and caring about each other. So it's really a very, very special place. So I invite everybody to come. We'd love to welcome you there.
Okay, we are slowly starting to run out of time. Any closing thoughts for the viewer before we go?
Well, I just want to say it's just always a pleasure to be with you, and you ask such good questions, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And, you know, at the end of all of our newsletters, we have this quote from J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan, and he said, I'm assuming he's a man, but I'm realizing maybe he's not, but J.M. Barrie said, be kinder than necessary. And that we put that at the bottom of our emails because that's how we want to live in the world. And so we'd love to have anybody who wants to come and be a part of that.
Well, Donna, I want to thank you so very much for being here. It's been very informative, and thank you for being our guest again.
My pleasure. It's an honor to be with you. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, I'm Deborah Gilbert. You've been tuned into Arts and Entertainment. In case you need to reach me, I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Well, I hope you have a super day. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.